what a wonderful story. And this is why I don't blame Christians for hating me. I completely understand it. And don't ever ask a question of how did Mary allow a bunch of idol worshippers into it? They didn't care. It's a story, you fool.
Here, please tell us your name, where you're calling from. I believe it's Michael Martell. Michael, are you there? Oh, 1 second. Michael, sit tight 1 second. Caller, sit tight. I'll be right back with you, okay? Okay, Michael, you're live on the air. Go right ahead.
Good morning. This is Michael from Minnesota. And the question is, were the three wise men from like some kind of pagan Mesopotamian religion? And did they allow, or why would Mary allow her child to be worshipped by these people?
So I know this comes as a big surprise to everybody, but it doesn't say anywhere in Matthew's infancy narrative that there were three wise men. The reason why I think people come to the conclusion that it's three is because three gifts are given. Could be 20 men came. And we're not told where they're coming from, but the story, the plot device indicates they're coming from somewhere, certainly in the East, probably given the name Magi, they're probably from Persia coming. That's how the story goes, you understand? And now you're asking me about how would Mary allow a bunch of goyim idol worshippers into her house. That's like asking me the question, how could Bullwinkle have 3 toes on his front right leg instead of 4 toes, as a normal moose would? Now, I don't know how many toes a moose has. How tall is Casper the Friendly Ghost? The answer is this is all fiction. The reason why Matthew, in his infancy narrative, has non-Jews who come to worship the child and to give homage to the child and to bring gifts to the child is to show how lousy the Jews are. That's the point of it. In Matthew's infancy narrative, the role of the non-Jews who are coming to seek out the Christ child is to show how lousy the Jews are. That's all. You're asking me a question of how come, Bugs Bunny has 5 teeth instead of 6 teeth. It's a cartoon. This is all fake. This is all fiction. These are plot devices. The only difference is that when you watch cartoons, which as a kid I thought was very entertaining, I definitely have a recollection of watching Bugs Bunny as a child on a black and white Zenith television. And I loved cartoons. I just loved it. And they would always make me feel bad because they're saying, this great cartoon is coming up Saturday, another cartoon. I can't watch it. So, but it's cartoons. Now when I see a cartoon, like I'm on a plane and you're on a flight from Israel to New York and you have 11 hours to kill. So sometimes you turn on the screen. You ever do this where you're on an airplane flight? So, you learn, but sometimes you just want to chill your head out. So you just see what TV shows and movies they play, and they have everything there. So you can watch old episodes of Lost in Space. When I was a kid, I thought Lost in Space was the most amazing thing in the world. And now, so when I watch it on a plane, on a flight, I go, boy, this is so dumb. Why was a kid? When I was a kid, it was mind-blowing. Bugs Bunny was mind-blowing. That's what you're asking me. The question really is, what does the author of the first gospel have in mind? His point is it's a setup, and the setup is to make the Jews look bad. Because what happens when the Gentiles from the East, presumably, if they're Magi, so they're from the they're from Persia, and these were wise men. In Persia, wise men and people who can perform magic, that's where it comes from. It's all the same thing. So the reason is to make the Jews look bad. That's the whole point of it. So when the non-Jews come to Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel, to find out where is the baby savior, they first go to Herod's palace, right? And in Herod's palace, this is chapter 2, they're told by the Jews, because Herod doesn't know anything, but the scribes and they tell him he's to be born in Bethlehem, faking out Micah 5:2. It's misquoted. I'm not going into it. And then the magic star that brought them to Herod's palace then makes a sudden left turn down from Jerusalem to Bethlehem. Bethlehem and Yerushalayim are very close. You can easily walk from Yerushalayim to Bethlehem. I don't know. It depends what part of Jerusalem you're in. But if you're in a southern neighborhood of Yerushalayim, you're in Har Chomo, you can walk there in a half hour. It's very close. And then the star falls on top of Jesus' house in Bethlehem. Remember, in Matthew, Jesus is born in a home. He's not born in a barn, in a manger. That's a totally different fake story only found in Luke's infancy narrative. So the reason why the non-Jews are there is to make the Jews look bad. And it's the same thing you'll find. Look, if you're going to be offended by this, please don't watch me. Watch somebody else. Because it's not nice what Matthew does. But Matthew wants to portray Jews in the same way that white supremacists want to portray black people. You make up stories about them. Or you very selectively find one embarrassing story and subvert all the other stories that make black people look good. That's how you make it so easy. It's so easy to make bigots. It really is, because people always look for patterns. And it's so easy to peddle in bigotry. Really, very easy to do it. You want to make people hate Asians, black, whatever group you want. All you do is you very selectively show one story and eradicate all the other stories. That's how biased media works also. If they don't like Biden or they don't like whoever you don't like, you only tell the story that's embarrassing and you ignore all the other stories that are. You can always do that. That's exactly how it works. In the case of the Christian Bible, it's even easier. You don't even look for a story. You just make up a convoluted story. And this story of the Magi coming from Persia doesn't even exist in the only other infancy narrative found in the book of Luke. It's completely unique to Matthew, and that's why it's called an M source. So this is a setup. Look at what happens when non-Jews encounter Jesus. They bring presents, and they worship the child, and they protect the child because they do not return back to wherever they came from through the same route, but take a circuitous route in order to protect the Christ child. And what does Herod, the king of the Jews, do? He goes down and he wants to kill all the baby children born in Bethlehem who are 2 years and younger. So what a wonderful story. And this is why I don't blame Christians for hating me. I completely understand it. I didn't understand it. I thought as a child that Christians were all insane and evil, and they're not. They're not. They're reading this literature that fills their minds. Not that they're experts in the Christian Bible, but these are the stories that are read to them in the stories that are told on Christmas. Imagine you're in a church and your priest tells a story, this story. Imagine a priest gets up and tells the story of Matthew 2. Really. Any normal person would walk out and hate the Jews. This is the problem. It's not complicated. And that's why my view of Christians changed dramatically because I realized what's poison. They're really good people, and they're just exposed to this sort of rhetoric. Of course they hate me. I understand completely. And these are infancy narrative, which means that they are part of the liturgical presentations on Christmas and other, and they're great stories. The character development is terrific. They're just lies, sheker v'chosov, and it's slander. It's complete slander, and calumny is a grave sin. This is mamish moitzi shemra. It's curses against the Jews. The Gentiles want to save Jesus, and the Jews want to kill him. That's it. And as a book, and it's like, the beginning of the book and the end of the book. So the beginning of the book, the Jews want to kill Jesus, and the Gentiles want to save, worship, and give gifts to the Christ. And then you go to the end of the book, and what do you have? Nachem al b'chasanu. The Jews want to kill Jesus. The Gentiles, this is Matthew, same Matthew 27. The Gentiles want to save Jesus. Both Pontius Pilate and his wife want to rescue Jesus from the hordes of Jews who are screaming, kill him, we take his blood upon ourselves and our children, Matthew 27, verse 25. And of course you hate Jews. Of course you hate Jews. To all you anti-Semites, all of you, I completely understand why you hate us. I completely understand why every day you call me the Antichrist. I get it. I get it completely. I understand anti-Semitism completely. It's made in Rome. Made in Rome. It's all this anti-Semitism, really, no matter who's espousing it, from any religion, it all is Christian. That the Jews are the enemies of civilization, the enemies of the world. Where does that come from? Right from these texts. And don't ever ask a question of how did Mary allow a bunch of idol worshippers into it? They didn't care. It's a story, you fool. Get with this great story. It's all about the Jews. The Jews are responsible for all of it. Thank you for your thoughtful and uplifting question. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה